Franco. Yeah, catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up. Gotta catch it now, Franco. Yeah, catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up. Gotta catch it now.
Hello.
Oh yeah, man.
Aloha.
It took me a while because it wouldn't let me change the edits and on the Facebook. So, but we're here and we're live. We're live right now on the Twitch. We're live right now on the Facebook feed, and we're live right now on the YouTube. And there is absolutely no one watching us right now. So
Look, we're all here. It's Franco, Nick, Wayne, me, and Johnny.
Oh, Johnny's here too.
That's and he's yelling.
Yeah, the joke is still wasted because nobody's watching us, so it's good. It's good. So,
someone will see it later.
Yeah. So
nobody's gonna watch that.
No one's gonna. I'm gonna shut off the TV because it's gonna make too much noise.
SmackDown.
Then, yeah, I was watching the SmackDown. What do we think of the Netflix move?
I think it'll be good. I think that first episode was kind of long and bloated, but I think it'll be good in the long run.
Yeah, definitely bloated.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
They were trying to make it like a WrestleMania, like a spectacle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was the new move over. So
Yeah, it felt like a house show where like stuff was kind of put on hold. But I'm like, that kind of makes sense for what they're trying to do.
Yeah, the Rock thing was kind of weird because he wasn't like he wasn't in either character. He was basically just Dwayne Johnson out there.
Yeah, that kind of derailed a lot of stuff, which I don't know how I felt about that.
Yeah,
and they brought in all the big guns like Undertaker and stuff like that to juice up the spice, but I don't think it worked at all.
What I thought was funny was everyone booing Hogan.
Yeah,
Hulk Boogan, yeah.
Yeah,
what'd you
sick
call
of him?
Hulk Boogan.
Boogan.
I saw someone was talking about like, aside from all Hogan's like, outside of wrestling like choices and stuff that I think is bringing on these boos. The other weird thing someone mentioned is of all the wrestlers you'd ever bring back to like hawk a beer, why would you bring back the guy that always talked about like eat your vitamins, the kids guy, and not bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's the most associated wrestler with beer? I'm almost wondering if they tried to get Stone Cold and he said no.
All those kids are now grown up.
Yeah, but Stone Cold is the beer guy. He's always been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because all those little kids are grown up now and they're drinking the beer.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's drinking that beer.
Anyway.
No, it's almost like that drink that Flair was hawking.
Oh, Woo Energy on AEW,
yeah.
Woo
yeah, that lasted like 5 minutes. All of a sudden, it was just gone.
Apparently, he's done with AEW, so
it's like when that Sting thing was done, his retirement, Flair kind of disappeared.
Yep.
Anyway, now that we have people watching us instead of being in our own conversations, hi, welcome. We're doing a live stream. We're over on Twitch. If you want to follow me on Twitch, we're on Facebook Live and we're on YouTube. But if you want to give me a follow over on Twitch, that'd be great. I'm Audio Franco over on Twitch. Tonight we have with us Wayne, our comment wrangler. He's there in the middle. He's Alice, basically tonight in the middle window. There's Scoot up above there. There's Nick, and Nick and I are drawing. That's our tables underneath. Scoot is drawing right now, but he can't show you what he's drawing.
No,
but
you can tell them what I'm.
Yeah, what is it that you're drawing? I was going to say, just about to say, you can tell them.
Yeah, I'm drawing a page. Let's see, page 120. Page 120. Hold on. What happened to it? It's missing.
Lost it. You're not even drawing it anymore.
Yeah,
you lost it.
Something happened here. Okay, I'm back. All right. I am drawing page 125 of 128 of the new book that Franco and I just had announced yesterday from Paper Cuts called what, Franco?
Ninja Kaiju.
That's right.
Ninja Kaiju is happening.
I'm drawing a mad scientist in the book right now. One of two that appear.
And it's an awesome book that Scoot and I put together, and I like the fact that it's pretty much almost all done.
Yeah.
Basically, you got like 3 or 4 more pages to go,
Yeah.
and so that means it's completely written, completely drawn. I mean, there has to be some coloring done, but
Yeah. That's
but
about it.
yeah, it's not going to see the light of day till next February. February of 2026 is when when it's due to come out.
That's how long it takes to color these things.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be put together and edited, so there'll probably be changes, but it feels good to finally be able to. Well, I mean, we've kind of been telling people that we are working on it, like at C2E2 and stuff, but it
Mhm.
feels good to tell people we have an official announcement with the date and everything and a publisher.
Publishing is real weird because I'm gonna pimp myself out a little bit. I have Chase Speedington coming out in November of 25 of this year, and I've been working on that book basically for about 6 years. And Ninja Kaiju we came up with roughly about a year ago or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And within that time, because we were originally it was going to be slated just to be like a Kickstarter run. I'm like, let's just do something for Kickstarter for fun. And then some publishing people got their hands on it, looked at it, and said, no, we want to put this out.
Yeah.
So that's how that turned out to be.
It doesn't
But
usually work that way, but it did this time, so that was good.
yeah, it doesn't work that way. But the disparity in time, like Chase Speedington has been like six something years that I've been working on basically, and then Ninja Kaiju in less than a year, and they're coming out at the same time. So um, if you ever thought you knew what schedules look like or how they worked in publishing, I will tell you that you're wrong
Yeah.
because they change all the time.
The other fun thing about Ninja Kaiju, and it's not to knock anything about the book because it's going to be awesome, but like Franco and I started with a very simple concept, and it didn't really deviate from that, which made it fun. Like the book is got a lot of characters in it, a lot of twists and turns, but the concept at its core, a big giant ninja kaiju, is pretty much what you think of. It's like got a lot of destruction, a lot of action, and it's silly and fun, and it pretty much it stays that consistent throughout the whole book. So I think that's the other thing. We've just kind of like been able to easily just keep you know rolling out ideas. Like Franco would send me like a rough layout for a chapter, and we'd laugh about it, and then I just start drawing it, and maybe I'd have a couple tweaks here or there and send it to Franco, and we'd talk about it, and then yeah, it's pretty much just been like go go go, just for fun, really. Like
Yeah.
Franco said, we didn't have any publisher or anything, we weren't getting paid, we were just doing it as a fun side project, and now it's turned into a legit
It's turned
a graphic
legit.
novel. Yeah.
Too legit to quit is turned
Yeah.
into basically.
Yeah. So what's new? What's new with you, Nick? What's going on?
Not much. Still doing my thing. Drawing, writing stuff. Stuff might be coming soon. Who knows?
Nice.
So,
What stuff we were talking a little bit of wrestling before we went live. What stuff have you been keeping up with everything?
mostly everything. I watched some of the stuff from Japan. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's not at the level of the older Wrestle Kingdoms, but I got enjoyment out of it.
That's good.
Was that the one where Kenny Omega wrestled?
Yeah, the Kenny Omega return match. Yeah.
Was that pretty good?
Well, it was Kenny Omega wrestling, so.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, I don't
pretty
think
good.
I've ever
Yeah.
seen a bad Omega match, but
It's very hard for him to have a bad match.
He's so good, and he's so quick with that. With Snapdragon, oh man, it looks
Yeah.
like he was going to kill somebody with that thing because he does it so quick. It's even because you know how Randy Orton does that spin when he takes somebody and he spins them around and lays them out on the mat. Like, yeah, he's like Kenny Omega is so much faster than that. It looks like he's gonna kill somebody.
Randy Orton would be a good opponent for Omega. I'd like to see that.
Oh, that'd be an excellent match, dude.
Yeah.
I wish that's never gonna happen.
I know. I wish there
I
could be
know.
some agreement, maybe like there is with New Japan and AEW, with WWE and AEW, to do like a one-off crossover or something.
That'd be insane.
It would just blow everyone's mind. Or if there was like or if they didn't announce a crossover, but then during the like Royal Rumble. Omega's in it randomly, and then MJF's in it, and then there's just sprinkled in like AEW guys.
Like they did with TNA stars,
Yeah,
bringing
actually,
them into the Royal Rumble.
That's a good point, Wayne.
Yeah, that was just like a one and done thing. They never did anything else with that, right?
But that's what I mean.
On NXT.
Yeah. NXT
If
has
you've
mainly
been
been when
watching-
they've been showing up.
Yeah, they won't show up on like the main roster, but they'll show up on NXT. The TNA people.
All right,
They have,
guys. We're about
Rollins
5 seconds into this drawing on that, and I ruined it already because I ran my fingers over the face and smudged it.
Where?
So
I can't see.
no.
thanks a
see
lot, guys.
You don't have
I see Aquaman, but I don't see where you smudged it.
I smudged his face. I could see it. It's there. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it now.
Jason Sanity says, "Yay! I get to watch one of these live. Happy Friday!" And my favorite Aquamans are from the Filmation cartoon and Batman in the Brave and Bold. Outrageous.
Yeah, that is a good Aquaman.
I love that one.
Every Friday, Jason.
Yeah.
This is definitely a throwback to the Super Friends type cartoon one, but I kind of made it more modern-ish in a Bruce Timm type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the angles and stuff.
Yeah, because Aquaman he don't get much love, and he's one of my favorite characters. And I drew the octopus, right, Wayne? I drew the octopus.
Yeah, you drew the octopus.
Seahorse.
Yeah. He was about
Yeah,
to
that's what I said.
mention
The octopus.
the octopus's name. I had to correct him.
What's the
That was-
octopus's name, Scoot?
The octopus.
What, the seahorse? You mean?
What's the seahorse's name? Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. See, that's because you don't know.
No, I knew at one
'Cause you
point,
don't
but
remember.
unfortunately, I didn't watch too many of those old Filmations. I watched more of the Bruce Timm stuff when Aquaman had the hook hand and everything. That was cool.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
They even had the episode of him cutting his hand off to save his son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he put it in a pond full of piranhas, didn't he?
You might be talking
If
about
I
something
remember
else.
correctly, or I thought that's how he lost his hand. Isn't that how he lost?
Well,
his
maybe in
hand?
the comics, but in the Bruce Timm version, him and his son Orm chained them to like a side of like a reef, and there was like something that was going to crush them, and he couldn't get free, but he got one hand free, and he had to get his son out of there, so he cut his own hand off to grab his son and get out of there.
Oh,
Sort of
see,
like
in the
what
comics,
Ollie
it
had
was,
to do.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah, in the thing, but in the comics, wasn't it the Peter David thing where he had to put
Yeah,
his hand in a pool of piranhas or something like that?
yeah, I think that it was different.
Mhm.
They did it differently. Yeah.
That's why they did it first. They didn't do it different at all. They did it different in your cartoon, Scoot.
No,
That's what they did different.
I wish they would just make the Bruce Timm universe the normal DC canon.
And to answer Jason's question, the name of the seahorse is Storm.
Storm, it is.
Well, that's X-Men. He's confused.
So
Oh,
then,
he meant-
if this is Storm, who's the what's the octopus's name?
Iceman.
Man,
Isn't Wolverine?
Wolverine's not part of the X-Men.
Wolverine's part of the Secret Wars. Did you have any of those old Superpowers toys, Wayne, when you were a kid? The Kenner Superpower?
No, I was too old at that point for the superpowers.
You had the Migos, though, right?
I had the Migos. I would go back to Migos and Captain Action were my toys. So I got about 10, 15 years on you. So
Yeah. But, Artie had the Superpowers toys.
Mhm.
And he's got about 10 years on me.
True. I had the Star Wars because I was 11 years old when it came out.
The first batch.
Yeah, the first movie. Yeah. 11, 12.
How many of characters did you end up getting?
Probably about 12 of them.
Oh.
I think I only got the original box of, I think Sears had this box of 12.
Yeah, that's the original set. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the set I got.
Oh, okay.
And then I showed you I got the Death Star.
Did you end
Yep,
up getting them
yeah.
at the store, or did you get them through the mail order?
I got them through Christmas presents. So that was when we were talking about the old days when we used to order stuff from catalogs at like Sears and
Yep.
the Wish Book.
Right, but when they first came out, they were, we lost somebody. Who did we lose?
You lost
lost my camera.
Nick's camera. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, it just went out.
All right. Okay. I thought we lost a person. I was going to try and get him back. All right. Hi, it's me. I'm here. When they first came out, though, you couldn't even get the figures because they didn't have them in time. They had that coupon where you send in for them.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
no,
is that what you had yours from the store?
mine came from it was whatever Sears had in a box. And I think there was 12 of them in the box, and it was for Christmas.
I see.
See, Canada might have been different.
Canada
sure,
might have been a lot different. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, ended up with that and an X-wing, TIE fighter, and darts.
Oh, you had some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have it. They're boxed up in the basement.
Yeah.
I don't know how the foam from the trash compactor would be
Oh.
after all these years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be all like, what would it
Yeah.
be? Just crumbly or something?
Crumbly or
So you
wet.
have
Yeah, I
them still
don't-
in the box and everything, Wayne?
yeah. I played with them, and then I kept the boxes, and I just tossed them back in the boxes.
That's smart. You were ahead of your time. Yeah, so I was born in 1980. So, but I did end up collecting some of the Star Wars figures because the cool thing about the Star Wars line is it went on till about 86, but they would always, like, every time a new movie came out, they would still repackage the original figures from the first movie and then Empire Strikes Back. So when I was like, 5 and 6 years old, I remember going to KB Toys at the mall, and they would have these deals, like 3 for the price of 1. And so we'd get like Darth Vader, Yoda, Luke. We'd mix and match all the different movie versions and stuff. So we got a lot of them on sale, like towards the end of the Kenner toy line. But that was right in the peak of the Superpowers line. So we had like the Hall of Justice and all that stuff. But unfortunately, a lot of my childhood toys, my mom sold in garage sales at various times. But now,
man.
as a
Why are
comic book
moms so
nerd
evil
going to
like
these
that?
shows, I try to recollect stuff. So I've recollected a lot of those Superpowers and Star Wars figures and stuff.
Oh, and you'd have a hell of a time trying to find a cyborg.
And I never even had Cyborg to begin with because as a little kid, he was hard to find. I remember he was just like not. And plus, I was trying to collect, like, make sure I had like Joker and Green Lantern and the main characters. So Cyborg wasn't even on my radar.
Does your mom feel guilty now that you're going back trying to buy all these things?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. My dad is the one that always will bring it up to her. He's like, I can't believe you sold, because we had like Kenner Ghostbusters figures in the car, the Ecto one and stuff.
Right.
And she'd sell them for like $1. And now you can like go on eBay and they're like, $50 for a used one that's missing pieces.
Does he show her the? Does he show?
Yeah, he gets all mad, and she's like, "Well, where were we supposed to put all that stuff? We just had like a little house." She's like, "We couldn't keep everything." What usually would happen is we would be into something like Star Wars and superheroes or something, and then like Batman the Animated Series figures came out. We're like, yeah, we want those. And my mom would be like, well, what about all these old ones? And we're like, yeah, who cares about those? Like, we want these new ones. So she would like sell the old stuff to make room for the new stuff. And we would keep doing that until like years and years later when I was in college and I would see some friends would have saved all theirs like you did, Wayne. And then the memories would rush back. And I'm like, man, I wish I had saved some of that stuff just to look at them,
Again, in the magical part of the basement, I have the Arkham Asylum collection from Batman the Animated.
Oh, really?
That
Oh,
big
wow.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a line that I did collect. I got to
Yeah.
say, because I love the figures were beautiful.
They were.
The
Yep.
sculpts were amazing.
Yeah, the animated series ones, right?
Yeah, very
Yep.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, they look just like the cartoon.
Yeah, it wasn't like the goofiness of like the Batman Forever figures.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Which we did have some of those because,
Yeah.
but yeah, those were not as cool.
Like they slapped on paint and said, "This is this type of Batman."
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. It never looked
think
right.
no.
What stuff were you into, Nick, as a kid? Like Pokemon?
Oh yeah, a bunch of Pokemon stuff. Frank, Dad would also know. Bunch of Pokemon, bunch of Transformers. I had.
Oh, cool.
I could have sworn I had like a metal Megatron somewhere. I don't know if it was from one of like the anime series that came out here.
I think you still might have them somewhere.
Somewhere. I have a Megazord. I have a Unicron.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a whole set of the Ninja Turtles. I can't find Michelangelo, but I need to find him, and he's from like the 2000 series. So
Oh, like 2003? Or
yeah,
no,
the 2003
2012.
Ninja Turtles.
Which one?
2003 Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
A bunch of stuff from Cartoon Network and a bunch of SpongeBob I had too. Also I had like the usual comic book stuff. I had a bunch of the Spider-Man, especially when the Raimi trilogy came out. So
Oh, yeah, yep.
had that. Oh, a ton of Star Wars stuff too. Way too much Star Wars stuff.
There's never
I
enough
have-
Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Ask Art. Ask Art how much Star Wars you
Mhm.
need.
Yeah, I've been down in Art's basement, and he's got like every Star Wars figure from that Kenner line, and he's got them all displayed, and there's like dust on them and stuff.
Mhm.
Classic Artie. He's got them all down there.
Well, they're all on Tatooine. That's why.
Yeah, but that's what's cool is like he leaves them up, so like during these calls he can just like reach over and grab them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
remember one.
I have looked at the McFarlane line. He's done a really good job on the sculpts and that.
On the superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Bizarro one's one of the better ones too. What were you gonna say, Nick?
I'm about to say there's a Star Wars one that blew my mind when I was like, I don't know, 6 or something. Because they were both owned by Hasbro, right? Or they still are. So they did a Transformers and Star Wars crossover.
Oh,
And they
that
had
is
this
cool.
Darth Vader that transformed into a TIE fighter. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. I think I still have it somewhere. I need to have it somewhere. Because
Do you remember
that's
buying
like,
that, Franco?
No,
Mom
I
probably
remember
bought
I
it for me or
did because
something.
I would buy a lot of the.
You
of the
would.
geek
I think
stuff.
you still have some of the stuff, yeah.
Was there,
Yeah.
Franco, from your perspective, do you remember, was there something that Nick really wanted, like for Christmas or something at any point? Because every kid has that one thing that they can look back on and they're like, oh, yeah, I really wanted, like a Cabbage Patch doll or something.
Yeah, he wanted a Cabbage Patch doll, but no, I can't. No, that's not true. He didn't want a Cabbage Patch. He would watch Star Wars over and over again,
Yeah.
and he would put it on, and there were different things like the over and over again. He would watch Jimmy Neutron. He would watch Star Wars over and over again. He would watch Bug's Life.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Bug's Life was great,
he,
yeah.
he would get into these things and watch them, but they would be yeah. As far as toys, I was a nerd too, so I loved going in the toy store. We
Yeah,
still
that's what I
Oh,
got a
was.
bunch of his stuff upstairs, squirreled away somewhere.
Yeah. I have a bunch of it just displayed in my closet somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes my wife will get mad because we'll go to the store and Oliver will see something he wants, and I know it's like a rare thing that we just got lucky, happened to be at the store at that time. And
Mhm.
I'll tell her, I'm like, well, I'm gonna get this for him because it actually is hard to find. And she's like, no, she's like, Like, he can't be getting stuff. And I'm like, listen, he wants it. And otherwise, like, for his birthday, we're going to have to buy it on eBay and it's going to be like twice as much. And then I'm like, trust me, I know. Like, this one specific character doing this thing is hard to find. And
So
that's
then do
partly
you
because I
do you
remember
buy
being a kid and like there'd always be something hard to find. And my mom would be like, well, we don't have the money for it right now. So we'll get it later. And then we never got it later because we never found it.
so do you buy it for him like and give it to him right then, or do you buy it and then save it for Christmas or
Yeah.
birthdays or
Well, I
something?
usually buy it and we'll like put it somewhere. And then, of course, he can't wait. So then we make him earn it and do like different things like chores or different projects, reading and different extra reading or whatever he has to do, you know?
So then you have to go get him something when it actually is his birthday. So he's conning you basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nick probably did the same thing to you. You just don't remember.
I
Yeah,
probably did, knowing me.
that's a true thing. A true thing. Wow, I really smudged his whole face. Not just a little bit of it, the whole thing. It's good. It's good.
Well,
It's
he's in the
Aquaman,
water.
and
That's why.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be smudging it like that, though. You should be.
Speaking of like Aquaman, I remember you and I collected like that whole JLU set when that came out.
Yeah, we still have
You
those
remember that?
somewhere. Yeah.
Oh
think it
yeah,
was-
I
yeah.
had some of those too. Those are cool.
Mhm.
They had like every figure, every character. I mean,
Yeah,
they had
Yeah,
the
they
Hawkman
combined.
with the hook.
Yeah,
hmm
they combined into some things. I forgot which, but you know they had all of them.
Now, did you guys open them or leave them in the box?
No, well, they were open and played with.
Yeah, I always open my stuff, even to this day, just display them, and then I'll let the kids play with them and stuff.
Nowadays, I'm an adult nerd, so of course I keep all my stuff closed up.
Yeah,
Like all my now I collect like a lot of like the manga figures, so like you know all of it's still in the boxes and everything.
well, those get
Any
pretty expensive, don't they?
Oh yeah, no, they do. That's why like I keep them in the box and
Yeah.
don't touch them because I'm afraid I'm gonna break them if I do something.
hmm
Nerd.
And any of like they made newer ones where they made a Plo Koon and Kit Fisto. I was like, ooh, I had to have those. So I have those still in the box somewhere.
I always like Kit Fisto. He's look cool.
Kit Fisto, yeah.
I just
And the
like
funny
saying
thing
Kid Fisto.
Kit Fisto, yeah.
Kind of sounds dirty.
Yeah, that's what I
It-
like saying.
Yeah, that's that's part of the fun of saying his name.
Kid Fisto. That sounds even worse.
Oh
That's
dear.
his,
God.
that's his son's name.
Oh no. We're gonna
Oh,
get
God.
demonetized.
Stop it.
That's his son's
Don't do
name.
that.
Twitch is gonna
Don't do
ban us.
Yeah, I don't know how things are going over on Twitch. Hopefully good. We'll see. I only have like 3 people there.
Hopefully you're
fun.
not putting it on TikTok. I heard they're supposed to close it up soon.
Oh.
Aren't they closing it up on the 19th?
Yeah.
I thought the Supreme Court was supposed to judge on that today. But not that I want to
TikTok.
get into politics. 'Cause I don't want to. I don't want to get into politics.
You should run for like a local office, Franco,
I'm not gonna.
since you're retired.
I'm not gonna. Watch me not do that.
Run for mayor of New York.
Yeah. Nope.
I bet you could win.
I bet you I'm not gonna, because I'm not even gonna. I smudged up here too, guys. Like I smudged up here. What the heck, man? See, I'm not being patient enough tonight. This is not. It's not. It's not working. Patience was not with me. Padawan. Oh,
Oh,
look,
this is cool. From Carrie Sanders on Twitch. I had a 5-year-old stage a battle royale with a bunch of toys and mixed collectibles. The Max ended up defeating everyone in a final launch of Cthulhu across the room. He lost his mohawk in the fight. It was sad.
Wow,
I like
that was
that.
a whole play-by-play. That should have been a pay-per-view. Sounded like a
Mhm.
pay-per-view.
It's something on AEW.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh dude.
Max.
Like the Lord, yeah.
Well, you remember
Lord,
that Sam Keith figure, right?
What was that?
The Sam Keith figure, the Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Also on MTV.
That's what I remember.
That's right.
And
That was a
McFarlane
strange book,
Spawn was
and
there at the same time. Oh,
that was
sorry,
a
Franco.
strange. I was going to say that was a strange book and a strange
Oh, yeah.
comic and everything.
It was a strange time.
It was.
You also had Eon Flux at that time on MTV.
Oh, I love Dion Flux.
Easy, Wayne.
Come on.
Yeah, they were like short episodes, right? Those Eon
Mhm.
Flux episodes. They would
Yeah,
like,
less than 15 minutes.
yeah. There was like, it was like a cool time during that time because you'd have like those little shorts show up, and then you'd have like Ren and Stimpy would be on and stuff. It was just like it felt like MTV was like a cool like place to just hang out and watch TV, you know?
Yeah. Carrie's right. Liquid television.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's all reality shows on there.
It was the best way you can equate it is Marvel in the 70s, where they just threw everything against the wall
Yeah.
with all the different type of characters like Deathlock, Killraven. MTV did the same thing with Liquid television.
Yeah. Do you watch that,
And now,
Franco?
we don't even have Cartoon Network anymore.
I know.
Yeah, we do. Do we
No,
not anymore?
the network is live and they do the stuff, but Cartoon Network Studios is closed up.
Oh, dude, wow. Oh, wait, I think I
Yeah, they
heard
just
about that.
closed
Yeah.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah, I would watch all that stuff too, because
Mhm.
the eyelash catching the fly. It was weird,
Mhm.
man. It was weird.
It just, yeah. And I even loved the movie with Charlize Theron in it.
I never saw that.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good. Oh, to me, it felt it captured the spirit of the television show.
Yeah.
There he is. There's the Aquaman. Dun, dun, dun.
I like the Aquaman.
It is
Oh, yeah, those
it is
clouds look
the
cool in the background.
Yeah, look at that
You
smudge.
know why?
Mhm.
Because there's oh, you have to
I'm
point
just
that out.
kidding. I can't see it.
'Cause it was-
You kept talking
those are
about
cool
it.
clouds. Those are cool clouds. That's why.
You
Yeah,
should
there's
put
a
a
smudge
face
on
in
the
those
face.
clouds.
There's a smudge on the face, and then that was from
You should put a
2024.
face
if
in
you
those
can mess it up.
clouds, Franco, as a homage to Spot on Adventure.
No, I'm not gonna. Not gonna. We don't
Wait,
talk
how are
about
there
Spot on
clouds if
Adventure.
he's underwater?
He's on top.
He's not underwater. He's
I
above the
mean,
water. There's waves right here, dude.
Does
Yeah.
a seahorse go above water?
Well, this one does.
Storm, the X-Man seahorse.
Yeah, come on, man.
unless you're doing the
X-Men
SpongeBob logic
seahorse.
where, unless you're doing that SpongeBob
Now
logic where there's like a
I'll
whole.
be patient because I have to wait till everything dries or else it's gonna smudge. Because look, there's smudges. I'll show you the smudges. You don't believe me? Look at this. Look at the smudge right there on his forehead. See
Oh
it?
no,
Right
no,
there?
those are speed lines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Wayne's right. I
Yeah,
can
okay,
barely
they're
see
going
him.
in the wrong direction.
it's going super
They're going
fast,
in the
dude.
wrong direction.
Yeah, that's why they're going in the wrong direction because they're speed lines.
Okay, let's not make up excuses here. Come on now. Come on now. All right.
For Aquaman, who would you say is the artist that you like the most on him, drawing him?
Bruce Timm.
Yeah,
No,
probably.
no. I mean, I like his stuff, obviously, but let's
Mhm.
see the traditional Aquaman.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Who was-
I
Yeah, go ahead, Franco.
I have an Aquaman shirt that's drawn by Jerry Ordway.
Mhm.
And I wore that when we went to the movies the other night. And he goes, "Hey, that's my shirt." And I'm like, "Hey, I know." But
That's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ordway's.
I think it would have to be. I always like the way Neil Adams drew him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm into the classical ones. So the way Neil Adams would draw him.
I mean, hold on. There's
But
one
see, I'm
that
into Aquaman. I'm into the strange, like when he had Justice League Detroit.
Oh,
When he was in Detroit with the Justice League.
yeah,
and he
with
had Vibe on the
Vixen,
team and Gypsy. and all
Vibe.
that. Mhm. Gypsy.
Yeah.
And he was in charge. That was awesome. And wasn't that drawn by who drew that? That was not Brayfogle. I want to say Brayfogle, but not really.
No. Justice League Detroit. You caught me on that one because I'd never read
Sal
that.
Valuto. Sal Valuto. Sal
Okay.
Valuto would draw them, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe.
the Aquaman I liked was the one that from that Howard Porter drew when he had the hook hand in the Justice League comics, like from the 90s. I always liked how he looked with that long hair because he just looked different, you know. And I just like how Howard Porter drew all the Justice League characters in that series.
Is Howard Porter doing anything lately?
I don't know. I was just looking him up.
So I'm looking at the Justice League Omnibus, and it has Chuck Patton and Luke McDonald.
Not Sal Valuto? Maybe I was
No.
wrong.
But no. And again, it's Amazon, so you can't really trust it. But the picture for the book says Jerry Conway, J.M. DeMatteis, Chuck Patton, and Luke McDonald.
That's probably right. Probably.
See, I dropped off. Like, it was just like, yeah. And then I jumped back on when the Bahaha era came.
Yeah, that was different in terms of what it looked like. Because then I like the when they went to Detroit and everything, but then it was the Bahaha era. But I think they did some really cool stuff in that Justice League Detroit thing where they wound up eventually killing Vibe. And then it was Gypsy was a weird character just in general and stuff.
I think they got more traction out of Vixen.
Yeah, well, she was popular from there. I mean, I know she was around before, but she eventually got popular because of there. I like to think.
And Brian Morris confirms it was Chuck Patton was the main contributor to the Detroit era.
See, so I'm wrong. I don't know these things. Why do you even ask me questions like this then?
Not asking. Oh no, we're not.
We're asking.
But if Johnny was asking you about these, you'd be right.
Please. Yeah, exactly. If this was a Johnny question, you're 100% with Johnny. So
it's true.
You're batting 100.
All right. Let's see. So another question. So the Justice League. See, for me, I would say Jim Aparo for Aquaman.
That's a good one.
From Adventure Comics.
I always think of him from Batman, but yeah, he's good. He's kind of the other guy that we got to think of who draws every single DC character great is Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Like every version of his characters look awesome.
Yeah.
And they just released the DC Style Guide.
Came out, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I have mine on order
tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, I should get it.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Wait, is it still available?
Yes, it is.
What's it called?
You should act now though, because it's going to go away.
It's the DC Style Guide.
The Jose one.
It's 1982. It was the Style Guide. I think it was the 1982.
Yeah, that they use for superpowers, right?
Oh, his work is beautiful.
So that's who I was thinking of. But when I said Norm Brayfogle, I meant Aparo. I meant Aparo for Aquaman, because that's the one I would associate with Aquaman the most.
Yeah, because you can even go
Aparo, I was thinking Brayfogle, but he was more Batman.
Yeah, and Aparo also for Batman for Brave and the Bold.
Right, Aparo for Batman, but for his Aquaman.
His Aquaman run is great, and his Spectre run is amazing.
I never read the Spectre run, but the Aquaman run. He was what defined what Aquaman looked like and was to me from the comics was Aparo. But then you have the old, the
Oh,
older
Ramona.
guys. Ramona, yep.
Yeah, Nick Cardy, I believe, drew him a bit too.
Right.
But who
Aquaman,
drew Storm the best? That's what we want to know.
Jim
Storm, that was
Lee.
probably Jim Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a legit answer.
Well, actually, that answer could apply to both because now he's at DC. So
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Does
And
Aquaman
he's
still ride that Storm, the seahorse? I feel like they got away from a lot of that fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Who rides a giant seahorse? There are no such things as giant seahorses, Scoot. Jeez Louise. What's wrong with you? I'm going classic colors too with the orange and everything.
all right. Keeping in line with the Garcia Lopez's style guide, Brian Morris says, got the guide in the mail a few weeks ago. It includes the Perez Teen Titan pages and the Kurt Schaffenberger Super Friends pieces.
Oh, really? Wow. That's going to be fun to look through. Yeah, I have mine. It's ordered at Oh Yeah Comics, and I'm going down tomorrow because we're actually, speaking of Jerry Ordway, we have a signing with Jerry Ordway at Oh Yeah Comics, New York tomorrow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm going to be heading down there tomorrow and picking up my style guide because I ordered it. And I've been working on.
Kaiju.
What's that?
I said I'll be drawing Ninja Kaiju tomorrow while you're out there having fun.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Mr. Garcia Lopez at the store for forever, and he graciously turns me down every time.
He's like, you think I want to talk to these nerds anymore?
Yeah, but one of the thrills of my life was I got to sit with him at Terrificon and
cool.
help him with his line because his guy that helps him out, he's like, oh, I gotta run. I have to do something. Do you mind just, keeping an eye just in case he needs it? I said, oh, I'll sit with him. And Fred, his guy, is like, no, you don't have to sit with him. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'll sit with him. Because I wanted to. And I sat there for like a half an hour or so watching.
Was he drawing?
Yeah, he was drawing. That's why he
Oh,
wanted me, to keep an eye because, like, when you're drawing, it's, difficult to look up and interact. So he was doing preliminaries on, like, a regular, piece of, copy paper. He was doing preliminaries to figure out how he was going to draw on the final paper, and then later on he gave me those preliminaries.
Wow.
And you could tell exactly who's who, even though they're just like a couple of different lines. Like, if someone looked at them that didn't know anything about any characters or drawing or anything, would look at it and go, what is that?
Yeah.
But you could tell who it is. It's like Captain America or Wonder Woman, just
that's
with a
cool.
couple of lines. And I was like, oh man, that's awesome. So he just gave them to me.
Yeah.
But then he still went in front of the store.
I picked up from him a splash from the Joker 80th anniversary page. There's a splash, and it's pure pencils.
Yeah.
Because I believe Joe Prado inked him over it. So there'd be so yeah, no, I have Jose's pure pencils. Oh, it's amazing stuff.
I told him that I shouldn't really set up next to him at shows anymore, because last year and the year before, like, there were like an instance of like 2 or 3 separate times when I was set up right next to him, and every time I bought something from him. So I'm like, I gotta stop doing this, dude, because every time they set me up next to you, I buy something from you.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, Kerry Sanders wants to go to a con where Jose is set up. He wants to know, can I walk past his booth playing Art's song on my phone over and over again? It's a goal of his.
Yeah, it would get kind of annoying for everybody else, I think, but you can try.
Sorry. I apologize, Kerry.
Oh yeah. So it might, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it might get a little bit annoying if those of us that are set up around him keep hearing that. He did get quite a bit of enjoyment out of that song, though, when Art showed it to him.
Okay, so Aquaman. So Ninja Kaiju. It's coming out any
Next year.
particular release date next year?
Next February. February
Next
26th.
February?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What
make
day
sure
is
you
it,
reserve your
Franco?
copies now. What day is it? They haven't told me the day. They told me
Oh.
February.
All right.
Yeah.
Valentine's.
Be able to order it through your comic shops or your bookstores?
Everywhere. You'll be able to order
Everywhere?
it through comic shops, bookstores, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all the places.
Walmart.
Wally Mart?
But order it through the comic shops,
Yeah, if you
basically.
can. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've got-
comics.
I've got that, and then I think a couple more books that have not been announced yet that I'm working on as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
Lots.
And for yourself, Scoot?
Yeah, so I got Ninja Kaiju just announced, and then just there's going to be another book, maybe even announced next week, that I'm working on with the old Dave Scheid of Wrapped Up and Agents of Slam. So just like Franco, I got a couple things brewing, and Ninja Kaiju luckily is going to come out first, and then I'll jump on that. The book I'm working on with Dave is going to be a series, so I'll announce that coming up.
How is Squatchy?
He's good. Yeah, he told me, he goes, well, last time we did the All Yeah podcast, he goes, hey, I wasn't doing anything. You guys should have asked me. I would have came on. I'm like, well, next time we will. But then I should have asked him to come on right now because we're just hanging out here. But I'm probably going to leave soon. But
What?
yeah, he's doing good. Dave's working on like Star Wars books. Like he's doing like he did a free comic. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I'm going to say it anyway.
Do
He
it.
did
Get in trouble.
a free comic book day, one like that Star Wars Adventures cartoon on Disney Junior with like it's like a little kids show. He did like a free comic book day issue he wrote, and someone drew it. So he's pretty excited about that. So that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then yeah, and then so I haven't heard yet, but I applied for C2E2. I usually go there and I'll table with Dave, and then hopefully I always request to be next to Franco. So hopefully everyone will be able to come out and see all of us at C2E2 this April this year. I think it is April.
Yeah, we'll find
11th.
out. Yeah, I forget when we find out, when we're supposed to find out if we're in or not.
Yeah.
So Dave's book is Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures / Avatar Free Comic Book Day Special.
Yeah.
He's the writer. Andy Dugan is the artist. So is Bell Bessa. I'm just I have my previews opened up.
Okay.
So it's been announced, and it's through Dark Horse, of course. Yeah.
See, he's not even on here. We're talking about him plugging his stuff for free.
I'm not
just
gonna
like
do that anymore.
the 2025 commemorative artist is Art Baltazar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he did the shirts and stuff. Right.
Big things happening all the way around. Oh yeah, comics.
Yeah. We have a question from B Things on the UB2B. He's torn, or I'm torn. Do I catch up with you guys, or do I write the article I'm supposed to do about Star Trek?
Well, why don't you write the article as you watch it so we can help you write it?
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
an idea.
Answered.
Yeah.
And eat some ketchup.
Storm is purplish, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes. From my memory, too.
That sounds
White
about right.
hair.
Yeah.
With white hair.
With white hair.
Stop trying to mess me up, man. It's not that Storm. It's not that
Or
Storm.
a mohawk?
Ooh, just like X-Men 97.
This Storm looks like he has a mohawk, sort of.
Yeah.
Got like this fin thing up there.
I have a friend I went to high school with, and he has triplet boys, and they're Oliver's age, and the one kid's name is Storm. And the other kid's name is Maverick, and the other one is Paxton.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did he watch too many 80s movies or what? What happened there?
Sounds like it, huh?
My goodness, those are some names right there.
Yeah, and they all are into wrestling right now, just like Oliver. So next time AEW or WWE's in town, we're gonna try to go.
Oh, we have a request from Carrie Franco for you. Did you
Yeah.
ever finish up the Skeletor?
I did. Oh, it's all the way on the other side of the room.
Don't worry,
Right.
I'll get it for you.
Oh. It's all the way on the other side of the room, but that's why Wayne's here. I'm gonna go
Here we go.
pinkish. I'm gonna go some pinkish. Ooh, hold on.
Yeah.
Is it up there? There he is. There it is. Finished. I finished it.
Oh, it's cool.
Hey,
I was gonna go on last night, but then I just started drawing it and I forgot. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Came out pretty cool. I think I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Thanks, Wayne.
Yeah. And okay. And there's Storm.
See, he is purplish.
He is
You knew it.
purplish.
You knew it. It's purplish. Pink highlights. I don't know if that's going to work out. That might be.
So. Whoa. Enough.
Yeah, I forget.
Oh,
I hit the
way
button
too
twice
much.
instead of once.
Way too much.
I hit the button
Jeez,
twice.
even
instead
my
of once.
wife, if she was still around, would not want that much.
I think my wife is watching TV upstairs and she's got the volume on real loud, and I think she's watching
yeah.
something religical, because it's
Yeah, what's happening up there?
a lot of choir music happening.
Oh, could be Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there is no doubt that my wife is not watching.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
I don't think so, dude.
Religious.
That is not going to happen.
I went to our National Arts Center, and the NEC Orchestra played the soundtrack for Lord of the Rings, and they projected the movie on a big screen.
Oh,
It was
that's cool.
amazing.
Oh wow!
And they had a choir too. So when you had those like "You Shall Not Pass" in that, and you hear the
Yeah.
it just blew your mind away.
Man,
That sounds cool.
so it was live orchestra and
Yeah, it was our own National Arts Center orchestra performing the soundtrack. It was just blows your mind away.
interesting.
So the movie only had the dialogue track, and they had the choir there. A
Now,
choir
did they have
there.
to get special permission to do that, or
It's been. I know they're doing another one in this has been a couple of years ago. They're doing it again in Montreal. I think it's this. It'd be just like if you're doing a play or a musical. You just pay rights, and it as long as the Tolkien estate gets their share of the pie, they don't care.
right? I guess
About $100.
Sounds good.
it's $100 yesterday. Look at that.
Did
It's
anyone
coming all
ever-
into focus.
Oh.
Go ahead, Wayne. What'd you say?
I was just wondering, did anyone pick up the and I didn't pick it up. My bad. Was the DC versus Marvel the two different omnibuses?
I picked up one of them. What's the second one?
There's DC versus Marvel, and the other one's Amalgamum, where they sort of
think
smushed together.
Oh yeah,
Where you had like Dark Wolf. Was it Dark Wolf?
Dark Claw.
Dark Claw.
Dark Claw.
Yeah, he was the coolest
Did that one just come out? Because I had the Marvel versus DC one.
I got the original Marvel versus DC comics over there somewhere. The
Yeah.
collected trade of that from like 90 whatever. What year did it come out? 96.
Oh yeah, somewhere way back. But and the
Did
DC versus
did the Amalgam stuff just come out?
yeah, it just came out.
Because yeah, the Marvel DC one I picked up a couple months ago. that came out.
And even the DC versus Marvel also included the Treasury editions, didn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
With some,
the book was like real thick. I got it
Yeah.
upstairs.
With some Jose Luis Garcia Lopez's art in it.
Yeah, the Batman Hulk one specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that. I actually had that signed by him at Terrificon this past year.
I hate to cut it short, my brothers, but I hear Oliver coming up. They were watching a movie, so I got to help him get to bed now.
Yeah, man.
But it was good
Yeah,
chatting with you. I was on there for about an hour. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I wish I could show you what I was working on, but you got to wait.
A whole year.
Yeah.
You gotta wait a whole year.
I'm sure there'll be some covers and stuff revealed before then. So stay tuned.
And no one yelled at you.
No, that's right.
So weird. So weird.
Now we're gonna have to get somebody to fill your slot. I wonder
Yeah.
who it could be.
Start yelling, Nick.
Ah!
All right, guys.
You just told me to yell. I don't know what specifically though.
That was perfect. All right. I'll see you
All right,
guys
man.
later. Take it easy.
Later,
Yes,
later.
sir.
Bye.
So now we gotta fill a slot because there's a big empty slot up there. Who wants to come on? I was gonna ask Deep Red, but I'll get him on next time.
Yeah, because it would only be 6:56 his time.
I was gonna ask him, and then I was talking to Scoot earlier. I'm like, hey, you want to be on? And then he said, yeah. But then he bailed. Kids. Psh. Take care of kids.
Are there any projects you can talk about, Nick?
There are some. I'm not sure how many details I can give.
There's
out, though.
there's the Astro Fox, and then there's Zombie Cat.
Oh, we're revealing that?
Yeah, Astro Fox. We talked about it last time, didn't we? I believe we didn't show anything. We just talked about it.
No, we did not. I think it was the first time you are.
So then,
I
yeah,
don't think
no,
we
I
talked about
didn't.
After
Let's
Fox.
not
This was the
talk
first
about
time
it
you
then.
were telling anyone about it.
Let's not
Yeah.
talk about it then.
Coming soon. Yeah.
Well, now that you made me say it, why don't you, you should tell everybody a little bit about it.
How much do I give out? That is the question. So there may or may not be a new addition to the Oh Yeah Comics pantheon of heroes by the name of Astro Fox and her adventures. So she's a fox that goes to space and has intergalactic adventures. So stay tuned for that.
If I'm not mistaken,
stuff.
weren't you guys
It is.
also working on a second issue of Super Fun? Ugh.
We kind of were, but that kind of went by the wayside when.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of went by the wayside when the sales on the first one weren't as great as they should have been.
Okay.
But it happens in publishing. We just talked about a whole bunch of
Yeah.
weird stuff that happens in publishing, and that was one of them. You kind of hope that the sales are there enough, and then when they're not, you kind of refigure what's going on, and you shift gears. So there.
Yeah. Gotta do that sometimes. It's all part of the process. But yeah, Astro Fox is gonna be pretty cool. So
And Carrie is saying good night, gents.
oh,
Thanks
good
for
night.
being, Carrie.
Thanks for joining us.
That was cool beans. Even when they come for a little bit, I like it. It's true. True story.
True story.
So how's your Canadian Hockey League going there, Wayne?
Yeah,
it
we
over?
won in overtime. I didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to jinx it.
Oh, I think everybody's frozen. Or I'm
Oh,
frozen.
I'm still. You're the two on the Knicks and your
You're
desk
just
are
catching up.
frozen.
Everything was real scrambled and fast. From what I think I understand, you guys won in overtime?
Yeah, we won in overtime. There we go. Everyone's moving. So, Nick, do you have any
Okay, everybody's back.
aspirations to work with anyone else other than your father? You'd have some industry contacts now. And we lost him. Oh my God! It's just like
He's not. It's just everybody's dropping like flies. Scoot leaves and nobody wants to be on with me.
Oh, I just got back, I think. Oh dear.
I was just thinking the other night when I was here, and anytime I said anything,
Uh-huh.
the gentleman decided to cut out and then
Oh,
came
dear.
back.
Fun times. Try the question again, and if he drops out, then we know it's a sign from another dimension that we shouldn't talk about that stuff anymore.
All right. I was asking Nick. I was asking you if there's anyone you would like to collaborate other than your father, since you more or less have grown up with the industry sort of around you, and
Oh,
you would have
geez, that
had
is a good
contact with some of the people that your father has worked with or knows.
Geez, that's a great question. Where would I begin with that?
Usually at the beginning is where people begin.
Geez, I have to think about this one because there's a lot that It's honestly one I haven't thought of that much. I mean, I have general ideas of what would look cool with certain people's art if I had a good enough story with it.
I'm just throwing
Yeah.
like Andy Price or
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Sarah Richard, because
Mhm.
her work on Ghost and Owl and her stuff. I even have a print of hers somewhere. I think it's somewhere around there. Her stuff is great. That'd be one I'd like to work with too. Bill Walko's another one too. I would like to do something with him eventually. If it does materialize, that'd be cool. Who else? Be fun if it all went full circle. I did something with art too. That'd be funny. Because it's like the whole entire second gen thing coming around.
Kind of like in wrestling.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've always said it's a unique position I'm in because I kind of feel like that, sometimes. Where like I grew up around this, and
I feel like everybody was cutting in and out on me.
it's. Oh, did I cut out again? I did cut out again.
Are you frozen? Yeah, I think Nick is frozen.
Wants me to be
Well,
mysterious.
Nick and
This isn't good.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my connection today. I apologize.
See, I ask a question, and this is what happens. I am like a jinx. All of a sudden, I'm feeling really sad.
I thought it was me for a minute.
Unloved. No. This is me because
I think the connection here is weird because we're dropping in and out. Like sometimes I'll hear Wayne, sometimes I'll hear Nick, and sometimes like I see my I drop out. So yeah.
I thought it was only a me thing for a minute, and I was like, oh man.
go ahead. Nick.
I was about to say, back to what you were saying in terms of that whole entire perspective of being like a second gen guy. I feel like that's a bit of a unique. I mean, not a unique thing in comics. There's plenty of them. John Romita Sr. and Jr. is one I could think of. That's also like first gen, second gen type of thing. If I get to that level, that'd be insane, beyond my wildest imagination. But big if. But yeah, it's just kind of nuts because you grow up liking Superman, Batman, and all those guys, and then it's just like, oh hey, my dad works on them, and then nobody in school believes you when you say that. They're just like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, yes, he did. He actually did. What are you talking about? Like, because I've had those conversations before. when I was a kid, and you know, it would be really cool if someday that once again came full circle and I did that, but got to keep working on that until it happens. Maybe try to beat Dad to Spider-Man if he doesn't do it first. That'd be fun.
Well, you never know. You never know. It could happen.
And there's even third generation if you're looking at the Cuberts.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Or you could just go work in a restaurant, because I did that too. Or
You
teach.
told me enough horror stories about it. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
It's true.
It's bad enough I did retail and went like the opposite way. So
So does KFC count as a restaurant?
I don't
it's
think
food
so.
service.
I guess.
Because I worked KFC and a comic book shop when I was in school.
See, so you're second generation too.
Mhm.
I don't know about that, but
B Things has an interesting question concerning publishing. What are your thoughts on print-on-demand publishing versus the more traditional printing routes?
I think in today's market, there's just so much more available than there was way back in the days. You know,
Mhm.
so it's just a lot easier. Go for it. Yeah, I mean, it's very cost effective because you don't have to print out those books in terms of you know, laying on all that cash, getting all that stock, and having to hold it. Especially if you don't have the space and don't have the money. So it's much easier to do. So I say, yeah, do it if you can.
Mhm.
If that's the only way you can, I think you should. That's just me though. But
But I think if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken, Artie really enjoys the print-on-demand.
Yeah, he's I guess you could call what we did with Zombie Cat and Oh Yeah Comics print on demand, but
Yeah, I remember Super
print on
Fun was
demand to
like that.
me, yeah, print on demand to
Mhm.
me means it's like, like you I guess an Amazon service or something like that, where
Oh,
you
okay.
have it listed and then, someone orders it and then they print it out, Um because we're just using smaller print runs when we're doing our Oh Yeah Comics or something like Zombie Cat or something like that. We're just doing a smaller print run. And then if we need more, we could go back. So I guess that is a form of print on demand, but in my mind, they're like kind of two different things,
Have you ever thought of like you see artists like J. Scott Campbell and a few others that their careers are right now based on like variant covers. Have you ever thought of maybe, hey, I'd like to try to, or Scotty Young doing variant covers?
Um, yeah, those guys have the clout and the name
Mhm.
to be able to do that. If my covers, start selling and like people when they ask me to do covers, like I did the cover for Farrell, but I did that for IAC Comics, and that was a lot of fun. But it's just you have to be able to do it. If I start doing covers, then they're selling enough where they're covering the cost of doing that, because you have to basically license out. Like if I want to do a cover for Amazing Spider-Man, I have to
Mhm.
license that out to
Mhm.
do that, and I have to pay a fee and get so many that I buy, that the volume wouldn't justify. Like mine may not sell. Mine won't sell. I'll just say it. They're not going to sell like a Scotty Young. That's just not going to happen. So it's basically, can you do it?
Mhm.
Do you have the sales to be able to do that? And I do not, whereas they do, which is why they can do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Because
totally does.
like some artists they've just gone into basically just doing variant covers versus doing interiors or telling stories. They've moved away from that.
Yep. Which is okay. Which is but can you sustain it? That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And with a name like, someone like Bill Sienkiewicz or Scotty Young or something like that, those guys can do it. J. Scott Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I like doing, if I could sustain and do that, I would, because I like doing artwork, and occasionally I like doing, interiors, but it's mostly stories that drive me, So I'm doing a lot more writing. I have like when Scoot was on, we talked about Ninja Kaiju. I talked about um, Chase Speedington, but I have a couple others that I'm working on right now, and then even a couple more down the road, because they're all spread out down a timeline. So it'll be interesting.
Like currently, like Flash Gordon Adventures that just came out.
Right. Hmm. So yeah, if you think about it, the last published work I had was the Teen Titans Go book, which came out last January,
Mm-hmm.
and then before that was Dead Man. So Teen Titans Go was last January. Flash Gordon came out in November. Then next November is going to be another. I think I can say there's another Flash Gordon, and then there's Chase Speedington, and then there's Ninja Kaiju, and then there's a couple more stacked up past that. So especially now, because the kids stuff has turned into graphic novels, not so much weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas there used to be a lot more weekly stuff happening. When we did Tiny Titans and stuff like that. Now everything is in graphic novel form and happening in that area. So you think a graphic novel is basically anywhere between 4 to 8 issues of single comic stuff that you're putting into one book, and that takes a while to do. And then the book market is different because they sell out. They start selling it months prior. So like, I'll get, I don't know for sure, but like, maybe sometime in March or April or June is when the pre-sale for Chase Speedington will happen. So I'll be able to push that out and say, hey, everybody order this book, comes out in November, everybody order this book. Because the pre-sales are important, but who is thinking about in June buying a book in November? Especially in the kids market. Like who's thinking about that? Not a lot of people. If they see it on the shelf, they'll pick it up. But they're not going to go out of their way to do it. You know what I mean? It's a weird way to think about it, but
Yeah, because I'm looking at, I have the previews up where it's showing the Flash Gordon and the Girl from Infinity Adventures. Is the Free Comic Book Day 2025 special from Paper Cuts.
right. Yeah, and I think we have a story in that.
Yeah. It looks like artwork on the cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he did the cover for the book. Yeah, and I think we have a story. We have a story inside the book, if I'm not mistaken. But again, we're working so far in advance. Like,
with Paper Cuts, since they're doing Flash Gordon, so they have the license for Flash Gordon. Do they have like any other like pulp characters that you might be interested in drawing?
Yeah, possibly. And that's all I'll say about that.
All right, that's good. See, I'm not as good as Johnny with the whole the witty banter and all that.
We don't need the witty banter. We're sitting here drawing.
We're
drawing and stuff
good.
like that.
Nick, are you still frozen?
Oh no, I'm still here.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Whoa, you were so still. It's going. I was just going. Oh my God,
I was looking up a reference or something. Sorry about
All right, no problem. Phew.
that.
So, I'm trying to include you in the conversation, sir. I'm
It's
trying
all
to.
good. Appreciate it.
I'm trying to be a Johnny, but a friendly Johnny, a nicer, a kinder, a gentler Johnny. And it's not that hard.
It's not. See, it's not.
Yeah.
We can be on here. We got like a
Yeah.
couple people watching us. If
Yeah,
anybody has any questions, they'll drive things too.
Yeah. What is it? Andric Salcido says hi. He just
Hello.
joined, or she just joined. And B thinks, is that a clever mount? Oh, I better read this right. Is that a clever mount for a Tuscan Raider or a witty bantha? A witty bantha. Bantha. I think it's a joke.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're talking about, but okay.
I think he's talking about Storm.
Yeah. I know that if you slice them open to keep warm, you won't because the sea is very cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
Is it sea tauntaun?
Basically, that's what Storm here is. So he's a sea.
Nick, as a kid,
basically,
Mhm.
a frozen seahorse.
Frozen seahorse.
Because
as a kid,
Storm
Nick,
came out
reading
first.
sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, as a kid, Nick, reading comics, and
Mhm.
they wouldn't have had the advertisements. But if you grabbed some of your dad's older comics,
Mhm.
did you ever go, man, I'd love to get some seahorses or those sea monkeys?
They didn't have any of those in the kids'
don't-
comics. You'd have to go for the older ones to see them
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
I think I've like seen commercials for it on like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon or
Okay.
something like that when I was a kid. Maybe I
Okay.
could have sworn there was something like that, like when I was a kid. I don't know about actual comic books, because what was like the main comic book line for like younger readers when I was a kid?
Star.
No, that
Marvel
was way
had
past,
Star.
no, that was way past him.
Oh,
That was way before him.
Was it
Johnny
Johnny DC? I think it
when he
was, or something.
When he was a kid, it was our Tiny Titans basically because he grew up with that.
Yeah, I think before that it was Johnny DC or something, because I remember that was a thing. And then
Tiny Titans started with Johnny DC basically.
yeah, and then I remember you announcing, I was like, "What? You're gonna be in there?" Like, and then that's how I remember that, because there was like a Scooby Doo and Johnny Bravo and like the original Teen Titans series too. So pick those up.
So Nick, do you want to hear the origin story about how I met your father and Art?
Yeah, sure.
I want to hear that too. I don't know.
All right.
You don't know that story?
This would go back. I think it was 2010. So it was when the All Yad podcast just only had 2 people on it.
Mhm.
And
Who are those people though?
it would have been Art Baltazar and Franco.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
geez, that was a while ago.
It'd be, and then again, it started at first with your father and Art, and I was listening to him on the Word Balloon podcast network, and it was hilarious just listening to the 2 gentlemen just going on, and it just, and then Johnny would then started to join them. But the one episode that got me, actually, I think it was 2 different ones that got me going, I got to meet these guys, was the Barbara Walters, where you're trying to figure out who Art was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, and it went on and on and on. Oh, John would not tolerate it today. That is for sure. But it was so hilarious. And the other one was the argument about whether or not Alan Moore was a plumber.
What?
If you can go back into the if the archives exist, I recommend. It's like on Comic Geek Speak. If you go back and listen to any of the Uncle Sal stories, Story Time with Uncle Sal, they're hilarious. Go back and try to look for the Barbara Walters special and the discussion about Alan Moore being a plumber.
Yeah.
And then it was at Emerald City. I came up to your father and Art and I said, "You guys are amazing." I lost my shit listening to you guys argue about Barbara and then also about Alan Moore. I was drinking my coffee and I spat it out because it was gold, Jerry. It was just gold. And then that was what I'm sure it was 2010 that I met you guys at Emerald City, and I just said I just love the podcast, and it was just. And then you had who was in the Phantom Zone? Zod was in the Phantom Zone.
Right.
Whoever Zod was.
Yeah. Our friend Zod was there too, but it was mostly
Yeah.
Johnny. Johnny was
Yeah.
in the Phantom Zone, and we
Oh,
call him Zod
geez.
before we started calling him Yoko Chips.
Yeah, it just if you want to, it's gold. The conversations you had, what felt great was it was a natural conversation between two guys that love the medium, and
Yeah, I don't think we have conversations like that anymore.
Yeah, no, it was just beautiful. It was something to behold, to listen to. And then you're going, and you want to meet these people. Just like when I met Sal the first time, I'm saying, my God, I love you on Comic Geek Speak. When you talked about certain things, which I will not mention because this is more PG,
Right.
but I'm just going, you broke me, man. You just broke me listening to what you were saying. And then I realized, oh, that's him. What you hear, oh, that's just Sal. So,
well, that was definitely like
and it was great. It was like at the beginning of podcasting, and it's all natural. It's like why I like listening to that the old Comic Geek Speak guys got back together, because it's like a nice warm blanket that you have.
Yeah, I had people would say, "Oh, you guys should be on the radio or whatever," and I'm like, I don't want to be on the radio. I don't want to be on the radio. And then we talked to Johnny, and Johnny's like, "You guys should definitely be on a podcast."
Okay.
So it's Johnny's fault. But go ahead, yeah.
I'll get into the comics. Andrick says, "I don't know why, but yeah saying sounds like oh yeah, and that's cool." Old man says. Oh, Aid Man says. B things. I just re-listened to those a couple of months ago. Art was thinking Joyce Brothers and Alan Moore were living in a toilet.
That's true.
And I think it was also the first episode that Scoot appeared.
Ooh, that might be true too. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while. Oh gosh. Yeah.
And Andrick loves finds your coloring oddly satisfying.
Oh, thanks, man. That's why we're doing it.
Oh yeah. It's just
it doesn't look too dark on the screen, does it? Because like when I put them up online, they look a lot more vibrant than I think it's just the lighting in here. Just you can get the basic colors going on here, but they're not as vibrant as when you see them when I post them.
I've always found that artwork does not look as good unless you see it in person.
Right.
There's nothing that can really.
Yeah, but even the difference from here, like on here, than when you see it posted online, because like I take the picture with a lot more light, and the camera filters out a bunch of stuff. But here, there's like studio lights, and there's this light, so like it looks very, I don't know, almost orangey, the whole thing, kind of faded out. Because the lights above me are different than the light right here, and they kind of interact. You see, look how many shadows there are. When I put my hands up, you see like there's 2 or 3 different shadows there. I don't know. I think as I said the other night, I get to a point where I think I'm going to ruin it. So let's go ahead and start ruining this and see what happens.
That's always what happens when you add more colors.
Yeah.
But you're expanding your palette. That's another way to look at it.
Or ruining things. That's the way we can look at it.
happy little accidents.
Oh man, see what I did? Look what I did. Why did I have to do that?
What'd you do?
Why did I put that line right there? See that?
Oh, it's an outline.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's now, in the words of Stewie from Family Guy, ruined.
Ruined.
Ruined it.
This
Just like
evening is
Will
ruined.
Wheaton.
Cool whip.
Look at that. See? Why'd I do that? Look at that line. See? Bam. Just ruined it. Man, I can't help myself. I wind up doing all these weird outlines and stuff like that, and I shouldn't. Should have just left it alone. But nope.
That's gonna turn out fine.
So your first con for the year is coming up, isn't it, Franco?
Yeah. It's going to be a small convention here in Yorktown, actually. Yorktown in Westchester County, New York. It's called Revolutionary Comic Fest. It's going to be in Commerce Street, on Commerce Street in Yorktown. And it's going to be a small show, but it should be fun. It's a one-day show. And then I should be finding out soon about C2E2,
Okay.
because I might be in the Windy City. And then I'm not doing as many shows this year as I did last year, so I was just invited to another one. I had to turn it down because it's basically a week right before another show I was doing, and I'm like, I can't do that to myself.
Yeah,
In the
the
olden days, I would
back-to-back.
have said yes. Yeah, I would have said yes, and then kill myself, and then I'm like, I think I need to stop.
Andrick would like to know, what are some of your tips on making comics?
What specifically would you like to know? Because there's lots of different tips. So if you have anything specific, help me shout it out, and I will do my best to answer.
The professor is in the room, Andrick. Whatever specific items you wish. Oh, mostly the art process.
In terms of comics or story or trying to pinpoint what you're asking me, but basically follow the script if you're doing someone else's script. If you're writing and drawing, that's a different story altogether. In terms of myself, I can speak as myself. Sorry, taking a drink there. I've gotten to the point where and I've said this before online and stuff like that, I don't really write scripts anymore. I write in storyboard style, which I guess that's not true, because I did write a script recently for something. So I just lied to everybody. But for the most part, I write in storyboard style, where, because again, being the artist, I can kind of visualize what I want on the page, and I draw it out that way, and then I tell the artist they don't have to follow exactly what I wrote down, but as long as the sentiment of the page is there, feel free to change things. A certain angle up or whatever, and then I'll tell them that they could change it or whatever. I don't know. If you have any specifics, I think I'm just kind of rambling off here on it. I don't know if I should have gone with that like aqua blue, but I did. And now there's no going back.
B Things is hoping that you will do a show in Colorado at some point.
If I am invited, I would definitely like to come out. I did. I was invited out to Denver Comic Con a few years ago, which was a lot of fun. I was out to Colorado a couple of times. I did Denver Comic Con, and I did. What was the other show I did there? Mm. It was the American Library Association, so it actually wasn't a convention, so to speak, but I did the ALA out there. So I've been out there a couple of times. But I would definitely come out there. Are you kidding me? That would be fun city. So if you start up a convention in Colorado, invite me out there. True story.
Are there any conventions you're going to, Nick, this year?
I'm knowing that I'm going to that Revolutionary Comic Fest as well. New York, I'm definitely going to be at. Same with Terrificon. At the moment, those are about it, but
That is
maybe,
true.
yeah, could change. Doubt it, but who knows?
I am definitely going to be at Terrificon and most likely New York Comic Con, but those big conventions aren't a definite anymore. There's certain parameters that need to be reached. Like you have to sign up for them, or they have to invite you. You know, it's like after a while, it's like it's a lot.
You have to give a kidney.
Yeah, your firstborn. That's why I take Nick along every time I go to New York,
Yeah, that's only fair. I understand at this point.
just in case I have to give him up for the
Yeah,
spot.
you know, it's happened once. Luckily, I came back, but still.
Oh. Look at that! Look at that outline. Do we like that outline? We're not sure. We're not sure. We're going with it though.
Mm-hmm.
We are going with it.
Hendrik says coloring is all fun and games until you realize you've been coloring it with the wrong color.
Oh, absolutely. It
Coloring
is
is all
awful.
fun and games. Yeah, coloring is all fun and games until you color.
That is a true statement.
Hmm.
I like to color. Weirdly enough, I don't like to color pages. Drives me nuts.
Are those Copics?
This one right here?
Yeah.
Not. This is a Sharpie.
Oh, okay.
It's a Sharpie creative marker, which I found them recently, and I've been kind of like obsessed with them, and I've been using them on everything. So like the white on the outside of Skeletor on that piece that I did the other night.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of these, and then you'll see that like I repeat things. Like I did an outline of all these guys, and then I'm going over it with this, and then I'll go over it again with a darker outline to kind of make the black stand out a little bit. So yeah, I kind of do things twice sometimes, and I ask myself, why do I keep doing this to myself? And the answer is I don't know.
And taking into account the computer age, B Thing says digital coloring is all fun and games until you do it on the wrong layer.
I feel that too much.
I feel seen. I feel attacked.
Hmm.
But yes.
Yeah, digital's great until you do something in the wrong layer and then you're erasing it and then you realize, oh no, I've erased this person's head. They no longer have a head now. That's happened to me way too many times.
That is truth that has been spoken. Yeah, I've become way too obsessed with these creative markers because they, I've been doing a lot of color on color paper, and this green is too much like the green on his pants, so I'm regretting this choice. But were you gonna say something before, Wayne? I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No. I was You're using the outline to pop the figures, correct?
Yeah.
Because I'm a non-artist person. I'm just a
Well,
I'm
it's
just
also
a person that likes art.
yeah, colors and like make the the art. I'm a very, I don't know, art ADH person. Yeah, I can't even say the thing correctly now. ADH, whatever.
ADHD.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. In terms
Keeping
of
up. Sorry, go
some of
ahead.
yeah, it was in terms of adding a modern pop feel to these things.
Mhm. Keeping up with all the fun and games conversation we've been getting. Andrick says, stapling your comic is all fun and games until you realize you've been stapling your own hand. Be careful with those staplers, kids.
What is he doing? What is he-
Yeah, are you what?
Are you
Please be
okay?
safe.
Yeah, is everything all right over there? I don't know what's happening.
But am I not mistaken? Did not Eastman and Laird
Do it by hand.
do it by hand?
I'm pretty sure they might have when they first did
I
Ninja
think they first
Turtles.
started, yeah, but that's way
Yeah,
back.
when they first started. Way back in the old days.
Hmm.
In the black and white. Before the black and white imploded.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go back that far, but I remember I remember having comics delivered when I was printing my own. When I was doing Weirdsville and stuff like that, of trucks coming to the house, and one of the deliveries was late. I think it was T-shirts or books that I ordered, and the person dropped them off. Like, they were supposed to drop them off, because I was leaving for a show the next day, and he's like, I'm not gonna have them. I'm like, I need them for the show, and I paid you, dude. What the heck? And I remember them dropping them off at my house at like 3 in the morning. I was like dead asleep, and having them because I had to get up and get ready for the show. Um, and that was probably all while I was teaching as well, or maybe it was way before then too, because
I could have sworn
we're
I've heard stories of
days
people
too.
going to. Is the place called Kinko's?
That I printed the books at.
Yeah.
No, there
Okay.
was Kinko's around. Kinko's was
All
around,
right.
but that wasn't where I was printing the book. Somebody else was printing it. I think it was T-shirts that somebody was printing for me. Oh, see, here I go. This is where I'm going to ruin things altogether. Look. Oh my gosh, why did I do that? I don't know what's happening anymore.
The colors have taken over.
And this is where I ruin things. I told you. See? I may not do
Why
that.
do you think? Why do you think Aquaman is such an underrated character?
Because look what he does, man. He's underwater. Who cares about underwater? Like, I don't know.
Like
I don't know,
Family Guy has made a lot of jokes about him over the years.
right?
Yeah, they have.
Well, he's kind of a weird character, right? But I have a fascination with the weird characters. Like I get a lot of commission stuff and sketches of Aquaman and Hawkman. I got a ton of them that I've collected over the years. And Batgirl for some reason. Like if anybody says, "Oh, do you want a sketch or something?" Like those are the ones I'll ask for. Don't know why. Just because I like them.
And those are solid characters to pick.
Yeah, but why would you pick those?
Hawkman is cool.
Yeah,
Why not?
I know it. You know it.
Yeah,
Why would you pick him?
because he's cool. He's like the American Vegeta. Why would you not pick that?
I don't know what that is. He's an American vegetable.
Well, I mean, there's a character in Dragon Ball Z that kind of has a similar arc to Hawkman, where like he's like a warlord from another planet, and he essentially comes to like fight the strongest warrior type of thing, and I like characters like that, so therefore Hawkman is really cool to me as well.
Okay, so then why Aquaman then?
Because it's Aquaman, dude. He talks to fish. He makes people have seizures depending on what continuity it's in. Like, what?
Okay, all right, you may have sold me.
Mm-hmm. I sold you what? You sold me on Aquaman. What are you talking about?
It's true.
Aquaman can cause a person to have seizures?
I'm pretty sure that happened in some story. I forgot which one. I just know that's something he can do. I was like, that's cool.
I thought it'd be more Mara
Uh-huh.
because she can control water.
Yeah. You may be thinking about that instead.
I might be, but you know.
I don't know. Does anyone from Andrick, does anyone remember this when the Simpsons movie had Tom Hanks guest star in it?
Yeah, I remember Green Day was in that too, as Green Day. Yeah, they were in that, and Simpsons movie was pretty good. It felt like an appropriate last episode of The Simpsons, but then they kept going with it, and then it just still wasn't good.
But it's still on, isn't it?
It's
Someone
still on. It's just fine. Like, I don't think it's like offensively bad. It's just okay. Last one I tuned into was Bart's birthday episode because it's the first time anyone acknowledged that, oh, hey, he's aged like a year apart from when they go forward in time. There's one that John Cena was in and a few others.
Oh, I did not see any of that.
It wasn't a bad episode.
B Thing agrees that Batgirl is awesome, and Franco should draw Squirrel Girl at some point.
Yeah.
She's been one of my favorites since long before the recent game came out.
I could do that. I could draw a Squirrel Girl at some point.
Eric Wolfgang says you should fuse Hawkman and Aquaman and call him the Flying Fish.
Oh. Maybe. And you know, speaking of Astro Fox, which we did before, Eric Wolfgang is going to be drawing Astro Fox. So, yeah. I like that a lot.
Yes, sir. It's gonna look really cool.
Oh, that's way too dark. I don't think I like that. That's way too dark. I need something else. I was about to ruin it again. Not again. I've already ruined it. I'm just going to keep on ruining it. So we'll see how that goes. Oof. Oh, look, I don't know if I like that. It's way too dark.
Hawk.
Yeah, B Thing says Hawkwoman. That would go back to the DC and Marvel, the Amalgam series, where they squished everyone together.
DC decides to fuse with its own characters.
They had to have done that at some point, right?
They fused Superman and Batman way too many times. Like,
oh, that's the composite.
Yeah. They did that. They did the Elseworld story where Clark Kent landed with the Waynes and, Kryptonian Batman.
But there's been more Elseworld Batman stories than any other character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Batman. That makes sense.
But see, that's what I mean. In the world of Batman, why is it that, people are liking, or someone like me likes Hawkman or Aquaman? That's what I'm saying.
Because they're cool. They're weird. That's why.
Yeah, see, because they're weird.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say they're weird, because if you go back to the Golden Age, where Carter Hall was the reincarnation of the Egyptian prince, and then the Silver Age, they were space police from the planet Thanagar.
Right, and talk about somebody's continuity, which they kind of like did and redid, and right?
Yeah. They
really kind of like what were they thinking? Like, yeah, let's just change this completely.
Mm-hmm. Even though I loved Hawkworld, it just And then it was Jeff Johns that tried to make sense of it all with Justice Society of America, the JSA series.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then the Hawkman series. He tried to make sense of all the different iterations of Hawkman. Because it's easier with Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
You can distinguish between Alan Scott and Hal Jordan and everyone else. But when you're dealing with the same character names,
Difficult. I get it.
yeah.
Yeah, and the continuity of Hawkman was just so all over the place. So all over the place.
Andrick is quite impressed that the stream has almost reached 2 hours.
What? Oh,
We're at
man,
145.
It has.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what happens when you sit here and draw for
Yeah.
a while. This is usually my nightly routine, but I'll put on like Doctor Who or something like that. But lately I'm thinking I should just do this.
Which doctor?
I just finished the Tenant, and I'm into the second or third or fourth episode of Matt Smith.
Okay.
And man, that Tenant, I knew he was good. I liked it when I was watching it, a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a few years ago, I was like, I want to
Wow,
say
yeah.
I was watching things like 9 years ago, and then I stopped for some reason, and then I just started picking it up again. And I left it in the middle of the Tenant run, and then I picked up again because I was literally in the middle of the Tenant run, and man, he's so good. He was so
Tenet?
good. There were a few hokey episodes, but man, a lot of them would leave you so emotionally drained. Like,
Well, the specials were very well written.
but the specials, but there were even episodes within,
Yeah.
like Blink,
Mm-hmm.
was like, what the, like,
Mhm.
who thinks
Well,
of this stuff, and why is it happening, and why am I so emotionally invested in a statue? Yeah,
Oh yeah, that
know?
that episode was excellent, dude. Tenet was
that's
my
the
favorite
gateway
Doctor, too.
episode
Mhm.
to get people into Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So, it's weird. But I'm not gelling with Matt Smith as much right now. But it's only a couple episodes in, so
Mhm.
we'll see. But people have said that they liked him as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
he
just
was
finished
good.
the Tenant run. Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say I just finished the Tenant run, and now I want to see the Gatwa Shooty Gatwa Christmas one again with him, with Tenant in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started watching that with doing the pod the stream with you guys, so I didn't know a lot of I knew some of the characters, but I didn't know the other characters when he gets together with them and stuff, and I never found out what happened with Rose, and now I did, so it was it was an emotional run. It was just like so good.
And you found out what happened to the hand that was chopped off?
Uh-huh. It was good. It was like those, like since Christmas, basically right before Christmas, I started watching them, and then went into just the other day when I finished them, and the Doctor Who was just like, those stories were just so inspiring. Like, there were a couple in there that were like, eh, but a lot of them were like, man, these are so good, and then he just leaves you emotionally like like bare, I don't know.
Wait
Just
till you
good.
get to the time of the Doctor. That'll just drain you.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Where's that happening?
That's the 50th anniversary special.
Okay. Yeah, because those are the ones on Max. Those are the ones I'm watching now. Is the on Max, but we'll see.
Oh, Eric has a thought, an idea.
Yeah, man, hit me.
He poses, can you imagine someone with a phobia of birds getting saved by Hawkman?
Yeah. that would be scary for that person.
I think
Uh,
if Alfred Hitchcock was still alive today, he would make a DC movie about Hawkman.
I don't know. I gotta invite Eric on here one day. I know he's watching, but we gotta invite him on here one day.
And B Things said he wished he could have had more of Martha episodes. She was his favorite companion.
Yeah, I like Martha a lot. I liked Rose, and then I liked Martha, and now Karen Gillan is with Matt Smith, and I'm like, I like her more than I like Matt Smith right now.
Oh, and you will.
Throughout, you know.
Yeah. But Matt'll grow on you, and especially the time of the Doctor, where they get into the time war and everything.
Yeah, I don't dislike him. I just think that he needs to grow into it more. Like I said, I'm like right at the beginning of those episodes, so and having come off David Tennant, I'm like, okay, I don't know if anybody can handle this, but
And when you get into the Peter Capaldi era, he's a lot like the first Doctor.
which
William,
first Doctor? The
William
very
Hartnell.
first? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the very, very first Doctor.
Well, that confused me because the David Tennant era, when they go to Pompeii, Capaldi's in that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. And watching it 10 years on now or whatever from it, 10, 12 years on, I'm seeing so many familiar faces from other shows on there. Like one of the first Matt Smith's one had the guy from, the Umbrella Academy in it. And, Olivia Colman was in one episode. And, so you're seeing these faces of famous people that I guess were not as famous then, that they've come up, because I had forgotten all about Karen Gillan in Doctor Who, and I was like, oh, okay, that's right, I forgot that she was in this.
Yeah, that was her big break.
Yeah, I think after Matt Smith is kind of where I dropped off. So,
and I think let's see here. This is where I'm going to go a little. I feel like spraying stuff on here.
See, all of a sudden, a little figure in the cloud could be a Hawkman. the silhouette of a Hawkman.
It's true. It could be. It's not going to be, but it could be.
Not going to be.
It's true. True story.
True story. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. Andrick says he lives in LA and was wondering if we've heard about the fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing
I hope
okay.
you're safe, yeah.
That's looking like
That's
there's
brutal.
so many friends that are affected out there
Mm-hmm.
by those, and I'm seeing them on Facebook, and I wish there was more that we can do.
I don't know if you know Andrew Robinson.
I don't know him, but I saw Steve, Man of Action, Steve Siegel, out there, and lost his entire house, and a few friends of mine had to evacuate out of where they were. Just worrisome. So yes, I hope you're okay out there.
Mm-hmm. And I hope our equipment gets to you guys quick. Because I know we promised to send you guys a whole bunch of bombers and stuff.
Yeah, I know there's Mexican firefighters out there too, and yeah, and I just hope they get it contained and under control.
Oh, Andrick, Art's usually with the Ah Yeah podcast. He was wondering where Art is.
I don't know. He's on a whole different schedule. I know that like he flips around schedule wise. He was on here last time with us when we were on all together.
Mhm.
But sometimes I know that he flipped around when we get responses to our messages at like 3 a.m. So he's probably sleeping right now, and he gets up around this time, and then we'll see responses in the text thread at like 3 a.m. from him, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's all flipped around. So he's not with us tonight, but he's more than welcome to come on anytime, and he knows that.
So you're going over it right now with a colored pencil?
Yeah,
Is
just
it
for
like a
some
blending?
shading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, say it again. What did you say, Nick?
No, I said yes, sir.
Oh,
So Nick, have you finished what you were working on?
Oh, yeah. Funny you should ask that.
yeah.
I
Show,
even got started on another drawing. Give me
show
one
the other one.
second. Let me pull it up. And where is this tab? Right around here. Oh, hey, I'm on the big screen. Hello, everyone. So yeah, I finished the Momo piece from Dandadan, or Donadan. So that's all not appearing that well on here, but finished the colors, did color pencil for the background, and I also started to draw Storm as well. The notable seahorse, even though it's weird that Franco decided to do a X-Men and a DC crossover piece. Very ambitious.
Yeah. It's not how I started it out, but okay. But
Just
I think
think you're Dave Cochran. You've been working at DC doing Legion of Superheroes. Then you move over to Marvel and you're going, I need to create a character. I really like that seahorse. That seahorse has a cool name.
Imagine if that was it.
You never know. Well, you know, the Fantastic Four is just basically the challengers of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they
It's
were
all
around.
Jack did.
Yeah. So now, for those of you keeping track at home, this will probably be in its done stage here. And I think what I'll probably do is I'll take some ink or watercolors, probably ink, if I can find my inks, colored inks, and kind of splash this like sprays of splashes on here is what I'm thinking, which I won't do on camera because then I have to get a board and put it up, and I'm not going to do that because I'll get it all over my computer screen and my phone and my cameras. And then I'll go back over everything with a much darker outline too, which I probably will do after I do the sprays.
For the sprays, do you use a toothbrush or a
Toothbrush
brush?
and a brush, yeah,
Okay.
depending on how big or little I want the sprays to be. So this turned out to, these areas around Storm and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'll probably do I'll do a thicker outline around everything of him, and Storm, but that'll be with a thicker marker, and then it'll be after I do the ink wash spray, I think, most likely. is what I'm looking at here. Ooh, I know I need some darker lines on the, yeah, because he's pretty much done, except for like his eyes will be outlined and he'll be outlined darker. I usually start with a thin line and then I'll probably just, you know, little bit darker lines here with some colored pencils on him here. But yeah, in a done way, done in a done way. Cool. This is my process. This is my wind downs, basically. This is because I spent all day today writing, so then I had a doctor's appointment. But today writing kind of just fries your brain sometimes.
Yes. When I was writing memos, opinions, advice, the only way I could get through writing my memos, because they were sometimes very technically oriented, I'd have like Pink Floyd playing in my on my headset.
Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe,
Because
yeah.
just to get through, like,
yeah,
because basically the work I used to do for like 8 years and last 8 years of my career was like a statutory interpretations. So I was like a constitutional lawyer in understanding legislation. I'll
yeah.
put you to sleep quick. So yeah, no, there'd
The
be
thought process, yeah.
Yeah, the thought process, because what I wrote, what I was trying to express is, this is what the legislation says. This is your situation. This is how you can apply the legislation to your situation. And yeah, it's a snooze fest. I picked a real exciting profession. So Mom wanted me to be, they wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer, but no, I went to be an accountant.
Well, you can't win them all.
True.
Yeah, it's sometimes like days like, oh, I just dropped something. Sometimes like days like today where I was just like from all day long, I was just switching from story to story because you know, there's a bunch of pitches I'm working on, which are future projects, and then there's projects I'm working on that are actually happening. So I'm constantly switching from one to the other. So it gets, you know, when you spend all day in another world, you know, you kind of just, this is just very freeing of thoughts. You don't have to give it much thought. I mean, you do, but it's a different kind of
well, it's a different muscle you're using.
Right.
And
he's happening here with his shadows and stuff.
Like your pitches, would they be like, I'm going back to like the way Marvel used to do it, the Marvel way, which was just a plot. So let's say it's a paragraph or two. Is that like what a pitch would be from you?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, no, because they're you know, they're expansive. Like there was a book that we were trying to get off the ground. A friend of mine and I were trying to get off the ground, and we were the story was deep. It was like, you know, we were thinking about 50, 60 issues altogether, and ultimately it was turned down by everyone. We I hope to bring it back someday, because now I'm going to just let it sit for a while. But everybody liked it. I mean, really liked it. But ultimately, it was just too much or too expansive. Or just didn't fit their publishing line. But you think about it, I spent months and months and months on that, you know, like working on it and stuff like that. Now it's all nowhere, you know, and it's not just a paragraph or whatever. They don't. Some are. It's weird. You know, like we were talking before about, you know, the Ninja Kaiju just happened to be like, okay, this is what we're doing. But I had written a couple of chapters of it already, and we were going to do it as single issues, basically. Put it out on our own, and then when we had enough, we were going to build a Kickstarter for it. But I was talking to Adam about Flash Gordon stuff a while ago. Like, this is. He called me up one day to ask me about my editor on Flash Gordon, asking me about something for Flash Gordon, and I said, "Oh, I made a comment like, oh yeah, I'll get to it as soon as I finish this. I wanted to get something to Scoot." And he goes, "Well, what are you working on?" I said, "Oh, it's this thing, like we're gonna build it, whatever. It's Ninja Kaiju." And he goes, "Oh, why don't you just send it to me?" I'm like, "All right, but we're gonna do like a Kickstarter and stuff like that, And it wasn't anything big, and it wasn't even really through my agent yet. It was just something that I had just sent to him. And he goes, "Everybody here loves it. Let's do it." So that's the way it just happens. And then this other thing that I'm working on for so long, it's just writing, figuring out plot, figuring out this, figuring out, oh, this happens down the line, and now that's nowhere, But I spent months on it, and that's just the way it happens,
But aren't you finding like the industry sort of has changed? Like
Absolutely.
that it used to be the single issues drove the market. Trades were rare at best, but now it's more the single issues are basically the trades just broken up into chapters. They help finance the trade.
Yep.
But it's basically you're writing a trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is the way it works. No. Because that's all, the whole kids industry is nothing but trades now. That's graphic novels. That's all it is.
Well, there's the movie that's coming out, Dogman.
Yeah.
I went to see Wicked with my friend, and she has grandchildren, and they had the trailer for Dogman. I said, "Well, that's based on a series of books."
Uh-huh.
She's saying, "Really?" Yeah.
Yep.
Now you can actually see it. I said, "Go to the bookstore. You'll see it. There's the Dogman series."
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome,
Mm-hmm.
like if that happened, but that's not, that's not my goal. My goal is just, tell stories, and if this, if I can't tell story, I've always told stories, always, and if I can't, I think it would kind of like drive me a little nuts if I couldn't. So, if that happens, awesome. I'll take a movie or whatever, but that's not really my goal. My goal is.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying like
No,
a
but I'm
movie.
saying.
Yeah, but she was surprised. She thought that this was some like a brand new idea, and I'm going, no, a lot of the stuff comes from books.
Well,
right now,
people just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't tell you how many times at a convention, like, it's happened a good 5, 6, 7 times now where somebody's come up to me at a show, has seen, Superman Family Adventures or something like that on the table, and they'll point at it and they'll go, "Well, how were you able to do this?" And the first time I was asked, I'm like, "What do you mean? How am I able to do that? I write the story, draw the pictures. That's, He goes, no. How are you allowed to do this? This is owned, by DC. Like, you don't own Superman." I'm like, "Oh, they hire me to do it." And the thought process, isn't there, like, especially in a different format. Like, they're used to seeing Superman in regular comic book form. When they see it in the kids form, suddenly they're like, "Well, how did you, you're not allowed to do that," type thing.
You will in a few years.
There we go. I think we're done.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So not done, but done in terms of, there's going to be like, water spray, I think, on here from inks. And then there's going to be a bigger outline on here. So yeah, that's it. We're done. We're done with Aquaman for the stream anyway. In a day or two, you'll see this up online for sale. Because that's what I do with all my pieces eventually. But it'll have thicker outlines. I'm telling you now, it'll have thicker outlines on here, and it'll have like some sprays from inks and stuff like that. So
Did you
cool.
want to show your Flash Gordon book? Because that's the current project right now.
Probably. If I remember where I put it. I think it's back here. I think I have to ruin things back here. It is back here. No. Here it is. Flash Gordon Adventures. Pick it up. Buy it. Buy it. It's out now. It's out now.
Gotta say, the joke about the extra large costing more, is that the first time that you guys ever used that joke?
We've said it a lot on the podcast.
I know we said it a lot,
but
when I read that part,
yeah.
I was just losing it.
I think so. And there's Zombie Cat. Here's Zombie Cat by myself and Nicholas. Issue number 1. You can get it on the Yeah Comics website or at Yeah Comics comic shops. And then Who's Who by myself and Nicholas as well. The LXT Who's Who and LXT Dark Atlas. You can purchase these that are from Nicholas as well. So all on the website. But yes, Aquaman is done. Let's show Aquaman. Show him big. Show him big one last time. There it is. You can see some details there happening. But cool. But he'll look slightly different when you see him online. Slightly different. But thank you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. We have been on for a couple hours. Yeesh. But it's fun. This is what I do every night. Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Wayne.
There we
Nick,
go.
Scoot.
I am, man.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I am, man.
Franco, yeah, catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up. Gotta catch it now, Franco. Yeah, catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up with Franco. Yeah, we're catching up. Gotta catch it now.